Okay, hello again. We're going to take a look at the infamous white/red deck. That one's here. We now call it alive and well guarded. Here we go. Well, like I said, this is primarily a white deck, life gain deck. And this is where all the life gain comes from mostly. I got 4 of these guys. They give me whenever one of my creatures enter the battlefield, you get 1 life, and then you also get an energy energy counter, I guess. And then when you build up 4 of those energy counters, though, that's where it starts to get fun. It could take a little bit, but once you get 4 of them, you attack, and then you can put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature and a flying counter. And then it becomes an angel as well as its other types, and that's really cool. So, but then we got this little guy here. He comes from the Bloom Burrow set. When another creature that I control enters, gain 1 life. We'll come back to that. Then we got my Soul Warden. I got 4 of them, and that's when any creature enters, you gain 1 life. That's the best one right there. Then I passed this up because it wasn't a life game. That's a removal spell. Lay down arms. You exile target creature with mana value less than or equal to the number of planes you control. Its controller gains 3 life. So I got 2 of them. A little removal spell. And then I got my rabbit batteries. This is 2 of the red cards I've splashed in here. As you can see, it's an artifact creature, Equipment Rabbit. I don't know what an Equipment Rabbit is. Never have understood the concept of this little fucker. But whatever, it does not have to be. It's an equipment, but it doesn't have to be attached to anything. When you first cast it, it's a 1/1 rabbit equipment creature, and that's all it is. But it has haste, so that has a little bit of value, especially if I need to put it on a big creature. Then you can attach it to a creature and give them a +1 and haste, and so that could work out pretty well, giving a creature haste there and being able to, attack them the first turn it came out. But that's my little rabbit batteries. Excuse me. Got a little choked up there. So we'll go here, and you've heard me talk about the Ajani Planeswalker I had. So this is it. When you first cast it, it comes in as that white card there. He's just it costs 2, one white, 1 colorless to cast. And when he enters, he creates 1 cat warrior creature with 2/1 life and power and toughness. Then the trick is you need to lose a cat. Doesn't have to be that cat, but any cat that I might have on the battlefield, which there's a few more. One's got to die. The second one dies, then he transforms into the Planeswalker on the right, and that's where it gets fun. And that's why I have a little bit of red splashed in here. I have to have one of those 4 red cards on the battlefield for Johnny to be able to do his full power. The full power is that one in the middle there, the 0 casting cost. He creates a 2/1. Now, without a red card on the battlefield, all he does is creates a 2/1 white cat warrior creature with a token. And if you control a red other than a Johnny, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. That's what we try to get to, is doing damage equal to the number of creatures, which by the time he comes out, you're going to have at least 6 or 7, or more. Being able to just do that damage on a snap there once a turn, and create another cat token. So that one gets real fun. Then you can also, if you need to, you can put a +1 counter on all cats you control. And then the last one, I've never used it, but you choose an artifact. Oh, that's right. You make your opponent choose one artifact, one creature, one enchantment, and one planeswalker from on their battlefield, which they're not likely to have all of those at the same time, but they have to remove whatever this says. So if, you know, or not remove them, they're not going to remove them. They have, the ones they pick are the ones they're going to keep. And then that you basically, the ones they pick, like I said, they're allowed the one artifact, one creature, one enchantment, and one planeswalker. Those are the only ones that remain on the battlefield. So it gets rid of all their creatures or all their stuff except for the 4 things they chose there. I think you might understand it, but I've never actually used it. So, anyway. My next number 2, you've probably seen, may have seen this card before in some of the videos you've watched. This is the Ocelot Pride. This is the favorite. The best hand to get is to get this card here and this card in your opening hand. It's just a wallop, man. When this one comes into play, or it doesn't do much. It's just a 1/1 first strike lifelink. And then every time you gain life, it creates, or not every time, at the end of your turn, if you gain life that turn, it creates a little cat creature token, right? Unless and that's where that word ascend comes in. You see the word ascend there under first strike. What that means is if I have 10 or more creatures on the battlefield, or 10 or more permanents, I'm sorry, not just creatures, but permanents. So enchantments, artifacts, the whole kit and caboodle. If I have at least 10 of them on the battlefield, then she puts down 2 cat tokens instead of 1. So that's really cool. So it's basically like when you get this one and this one in your opening hand, turn 1 you put this down, turn 2 you put this down, you get a life because you put this down, and then it goes on to the end of your turn. Then you get a kitty cat token because this gained life or you gained life, and this makes a kitty token. So that's turn 2, and you got the 3 of them down. It just works really good. And then move on to the Essence Channeler. It's really not as fancy as it looks. It's really just a creature that you get a +1 counter whenever I gain life. It gets a +1 counter whenever I gain life. That's its main thing. But then if I've lost life in a turn, this thing has flying and vigilance for the turn. So it's a little odd. But the key is you want to gain life and put the counters on it. It gets, like I said, +1 counter every time I gain a life. And then the nice thing is when this one dies, you can put its counters on other creatures around you. So, that's nice. Then, got my other removal spell, Get Lost. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Sorry, its controller creates 2 map tokens. So that's the downside of this, because it has a cheap casting cost to, just destroy something real easy like that. So the downside is it gives your opponent a map token, which you can see that over there on the right. It's just a token that sits there on their side, and they can sacrifice it and pick one of their creatures, and that creature explores. Which means when a creature explores, you look at the top card on your library. If it's a land, you put it in your hand. If it's not a land, if whatever else it is, it doesn't matter. You can put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. And then you can choose to either put the card back on the top of your library or in your graveyard. So map tokens are kind of giving them a tiny bit of an advantage to a certain extent. But it's not that big. It's just, just enough to kind of cover for destroying whatever you just destroyed. Then we go down to the Voice of the Blessed. Voice of the Blessed is basically another one of those creatures that gains a +1/+1 counter when I gain life. So that's his main function. And then the difference is when he has 4 or more, he gets Flying and Vigilance. And then once he gets up to 10 counters, he's indestructible. So that can be pretty nasty, and you can get to 10 counters real easy with this deck. So anyway, then we move over here to Halia. That's that one you recommended for me. I love it. I've even thought about changing things up and putting more in it. The only thing that holds me back is that 3 casting cost. You know, it takes a little while to get her out. So far, knock on wood, when I've played, I've never really gotten her in my opening hand. I've gotten it late in the game when I already had enough mana to cast her. So it's worked out pretty well. But it's another creature that I think, wait a minute. When a creature enters, then I gain life. She's one of those. So she's another life gain engine there. But then the best part about her is at the end of your turn, you draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life. Well, it's easy to gain 3 or more life, you know, and so at the end of your turn you get to draw a card. So it's, you know, nice little card draw engine. And she also has Warp. Warp is one of those abilities where excuse me for a second. It's a way of casting this card early when you have the mana. So all it does is you cast it for its Warp cost of 1, which is obviously cheaper than 3. But it doesn't come out that turn. It goes into exile, and then you can cast it from exile on a later turn. I don't remember exactly what it means, but it's something like that. You can try reading it yourself. Pause the video and read it yourself, see if you figure it out. I'm going to move on to the next one. This is my tutor card. I got 2 of them in here, and when she enters, you search your whole library for any creature with toughness 2 or less, which is a lot of them. You reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle. So that's a nice one when you're looking for one of these over here, you know. And then my angels, got 4 of these where they're also a life gain engine as well. The difference is whenever an angel or a cleric I control enters, I gain life equal to that creature's toughness. I don't just gain 1 life, whatever the creature's toughness is. As long as it's an angel or cleric, I have a sufficient amount of those things. Like, this is a cleric. Let's see. That one's a cleric. Of course, those don't count. Where am I looking at? Yeah, here's a cleric. Where was the other one? This one is a cleric. You know, she don't count. And what was the other one? Cleric. Oh, and this one is an angel. So, and of course, any of these are angels. So more or less, most of the creatures in my deck, when they come into the battlefield, I get life equal to their toughness, which is, you know, 1 or 2 over there on the left, or I might get as many as 2 or 3, depending. But it's still a little extra. And of course, if one of these angels comes in, I can get 4, which is nice. Then the last thing she does is sorry, I'm getting choked up. Last thing she does is, if I have at least 7 more, I don't know why they word it that way. They should just say, if you have at least 27 life. That's basically what it is. Once you get 7 more than your starting total. I guess they have to word it that way because you might not start with 20. I don't know. But once you get up to 27, all creatures you control get +2/+2. But which that part changes the game. I mean, I'm sure if I could see the people's faces when I'm playing this, and I gain that 1 little extra life, and all of a sudden everything on here goes cha-chunk, and he's staring at a whole bunch of 3 3s and 4 4s and 5 5s, where he was looking at a bunch of 1 1s. It greatly changes things. Then we're going to our next other red card. This is one of my favorites. I've even considered maybe changing it to where I have 4 of these, but it's just an artifact. When combat starts, it spits out one of those little tokens there on the right, a Phyrexian Horror, that has Trample and Haste. And it's a blank 1 creature. Well, the blank, or the X, is the number of oil counters on the enchantment, which you get an oil enchantment, or an oil counter at the beginning of combat. So turn 1, what it boils down to is turn 1, you put an oil counter on the forge, the artifact, right before combat starts. Which then, right before combat starts, it puts the 1/1 Phyrexian Horror. The 1 is for the 1 counter, so it puts down the 1/1 Phyrexian Horror, and you just, a lot of times I'll just attack anyway, because as soon as the turn's over, as soon as combat's over, the little creature dies. But the next turn, you put another counter, and this time a 2/1 comes out. And the next turn, a 3/1 comes out. Next turn, a 4 and a 5, and so on and so forth, until it matters to your opponent a little bit when a 4/4 is coming across, or a 4/1 is coming across. That also has Trample. You know, and eventually they get to the point where that little Phyrexian Horror thing is a terrible nuisance. So it's fun when that's out. Then we go to my one other angel, and really all she is another card that gets a +1 counter when I gain life. So, you know, she gets big quick every time I gain life. And then whenever I put 1 or more counters on this creature, so every time she gets a counter, which is every time I gain life, I get to draw, or I can draw a card. I can do that once a turn, not every time. You only do it once per turn, but you know, once you put a counter on her, you get to draw a card. So another little extra draw card engine. And that's the basis of this deck. And you know, when I talk about getting the right hand, like I said, I hope to get this. One of these are fine. One of these up here are fine, but hopefully this, and hopefully this. If not that, a good second would be this one or this one. At least have one of my 2 drops here. You know, specifically one of these 3 creatures. This one's my preference, but one of the other 2 is fine. Then turn 3, I hope to have at least this lady or this lady. And that's the best hand, is to have one of each of those in my hand when I draw. And that starts the game. That starts the engine, if you want to put it that way. And then the deck just really starts to go crazy from there if you get decent draws. We'll go on to my lands, which really are fairly unremarkable in this deck. I do put Eiganjo. This is another one of those channel lands they call it. It's a white plains, but I can discard it if I choose to from my hand, and it deals 4 damage to a target attacking or blocking creature. And then the ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control, which I don't even think there are any legendaries in this deck. It's pretty much irrelevant. You can do 4 damage to a target attacking creature if you want. Not often that I channel. It's fairly rare. And you got my plains and mountains. And we got the Thriving Blood. This enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color other than red. Then, which of course we'll say white. And then this will add red or white. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then we got this one. This one enters tapped unless I already control a mountain or a plains. So there's a, you know, reasonable chance I'm going to get this out, you know, and it'll come out untapped. It's, you know, a little bit of luck. This one enters tapped unless you have 2 or fewer other lands. So if you have 0, 1, or 2 lands, this one will be untapped when it comes out. It has basically, it's saying it has to be your third land, or basically your first, second, or third land if it comes out in untapped. Otherwise, if you get it later after turn 3, it comes in tapped. This one, let's see, yeah, this one is one that's front or back. You choose when you cast it, whether you want red or white. And this one, it comes into play tapped unless I choose to pay 2 life. It'll come in untapped. You've probably seen that in some of them little videos before. And then finally, this one doesn't come in tapped at all, and it only catches, it doesn't make red unless I have a mountain or a plains already out. I probably will, you know. So, especially, I probably will, you know, obviously, you could cast this one turn 1 if you want. At that point, it's going to be a plains only. But, you know, any other time, most of these other ones, see that, like that one specifically says a mountain and plains on it there in the center. That indicates that it applies. If this one's out, it counts as being a mountain or plains, you know, for that choice. This one does not. So if this one's out, then this one will still only activate white, if that makes any sense. It's a little bit of a catch. It's because the way that's worded. It says you have to control a mountain or a plains. Well, we go back up here where we was, you notice it only says it's a land. It doesn't say that it's a mountains or a plains. So that one doesn't count. This one doesn't either. You know, neither does this one. Now, of course, these do. Eiganjo does not. So, you know, it's a little bit of a catch, but it doesn't matter. We need more white than we do red anyway, if you see what I'm saying. So it's kind of like, meh. So anyway, that's all the lands. Alright, and that's the entire deck. I think maybe it gives you a better picture of how this baby works, and we're going to take it out to play. First of all, though, I'm going to pause this video. I'll do a clip art again, and when I do my gameplay here in a little bit, I'll start another video and I'll put them together before I post it, like I did in that last one. I don't know if you watched my last one yet, the Construct Madness deck. That was fun. Hopefully this one's going to be fun too. Alright, be back in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Let's see what happens here. Go to the play screen. This is going and alive and well guarded. Yeah, we'll see what kind of horse shit they stick in us tonight. Oh Lord. Gumu. I don't know how you pronounce that. Let's see, we got her and then. Oh, I don't know what to think. I'm gonna try it. It's not the best hand. It might have just screwed me. Souls isn't too bad. Give me a 2 drop. Micro attack. It's not looking so good. We're moving pretty damn slow here. Might get lucky and get this out next turn, and maybe, or if I get a red, that'll make it. Okay. Alright, we'll get the Valkyrie. No attack. Mm, he's thinking. Probably thinking of what horrors he's going to inflict on me now that I've already used up 3 turns and haven't done shit. This deck does better. Just worries me since I took my chances with that hand. It really depends on what my next draw or 2 is. It's not a bad draw. That might make things run a little better. Alright. Well, let's see. We got 3, so I can put her down 2. I can also exile this guy. Let's see. Now let's go ahead with the whole life gain bit. Oh, we got our +2 from the angel. Dude's probably like, what the hell? He didn't get enough energy. I need one more for you. Looky there. Alright then. Now we tack. And we're gonna tack with everything. It doesn't do anything this time. Let's just pop it up there. Hope he doesn't have a combat trick, because that's gonna fuck me up. Yeah, you got something. Uh-oh. He's tapped out. Alright. Now, next turn I either need a red mana or a decent card. The Ocelot would be great. What else would be good? I don't know, it's late in the game. This is usually don't get that far with this deck. Okay, well, there's one match. Woo, I won! Sort of, kind of. A little bit of rewards there. Alright, ready to do another one? Let's go. Play it again, man. Let's get a good match this time, man. I want this deck to go off, man. That would be the best. Karn, the Great Creator. Oh, that's not good. I got a mulligan that. Let's see. We don't have any freaking life gain. Oh wait, well we got her. Shit. I don't like the mulligan more than twice. I'm gonna keep this. And I guess if I had to get rid of something, let's see. I'll get rid of the rabbit. I ain't going for it. Yeah, I guess I could. Try to figure out what Morph does. That's so you can get her entrance trigger, or see if she'll draw you a card. They got a land, that'll be somewhat helpful. What are we going to cast with it though? Put the pride down first. God damn. Here we go. Alright, well. Let's change things up a little bit here. I don't know how it listens. Oh, it's up. Oh my God, he's got 2 of them. And he's got life gain. I think we're already screwed, bubs. We are screwed. Yep, but see, that's what's supposed to happen on my side. He's got the same shit. So, I tell you what, man. This is just, we're just so screwed. I don't think I can play this out. I'm gonna go ahead and concede. Plus, I hate it. I hate it when they put me against my own deck. Like, in other words, that was almost an identical deck. And they do that a lot. That's what the matchmaking does on the game. It'll match you, but it ends up matching you with an identical deck, and I hate that, man. I don't like that at all. But anyway, okay, let's try again. Let's see what kind of horse shit we get this time. Take him off. Stuffy God. Okay. Let's see. We got life gain times 3. And this. I'll go ahead and keep it. We got land. We got these. Hopefully anything else comes out and goes with them. So cross our fingers. Hello, friend. Put her down first. Get the most life from that one because it works on both sides, the opponent creatures and mine. Eat. What is that? Is that the... I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh, okay. Alright. Well, thankfully we got this one. Okay. Next turn, hopefully we get our angel out, and that usually is a perfect combo. The problem is I think this land's going to come into play tapped. Oh no, it's one of those, since I have a plains in play, it'll be fine. We do this, do our angel. Still not going to bother attacking yet. Not time. There's my extra attack. More life. And in 2 more life, my angel will give us +2/+2 to everything. Ow! Yeah, do a little searching. Now he's finding the yucky stuff. We'll find the yucky stuff. Let's see. Put her land in. That's not really tell. Not in this case, but. Alright, so this time I can put all of these down. Should I? Yeah, why the hell not? Let's put this one down. Oh, there's our ascension. doing that. Alright, we got this one, and this one, and this one, and that should be good enough. I bet a board wipe's coming. I bet that's it. That's what'll kill me. That's what kills me. Is it? Don't look like it. Look how big this guy over here's got. 16, 15. What the hell are they gonna do against that? I'll go ahead and put this down. Now we got enough energy down here. He said nice. So we're going to attack with the angel and these and probably this. And then now this I've got the power, I can take action and get one of he gave me it. It was over for him. What that would have done, Eric, is that guy right there. I'll show you the battlefield again. This guy here, he would have taken that 4 energy. There was 6 energy here, or I mean 5 energy here before. He would have taken 4 energy, and I was going to click one of these, and he would have given it +2. 2 +1 counter, so +2, and it would turn him into flying, so he was going to automatically get through. So that would have been 9 points of damage, and one of these would have surely gotten through, and that would have been the game. So that's kind of what I was talking about with that deck. When it goes off like that, you can see it just goes off. And that's the whole point. Ooh, I got a card. Let's see what it is. Longhorn Sharpshooter. Never heard of it. And I knew that. That's the Old West set, Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I can tell by the little hat symbol on it, you know. And I knew those cards very pretty good, but I didn't know this one. So when this card becomes plotted, it deals 2 damage. Okay. I mean, it has its uses. I don't think I'll ever use it, but I could see its usefulness. Oh, that reminds me. While I've got this real quick, I got a card earlier. Am I going to be able to remember what its name was? Let's see. Damn, what was that thing's name? Shit, never mind. I can't remember its name. So, it was a cool card. I earned a card like what you just saw there. And it was a cool card. It was one where I was looking at it and thinking, you know, now that's something that you could build a deck around, that type of property, whatever the hell it was. I'll try to think of it and I'll tell you about it next time. But anyway, okay, that's the white and red deck. Yay, okay. All right, man, have a good one.